You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So, 2017.
Yeah, guys,
that is a massive tip everybody just got. I mean, I hope you guys write that down right now. Just stop, write it down, write it 10 times. That was a massive tip.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
And just to put a little sugar on top of the cake, look.
Hi, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. My name is Paul Turner, and I am here with my business partner, Eric Green, whichever way that is. And then every now and again, me and Eric like to pull out the big guns, and definitely the guy that we have on today is classed as one of the big guns, and that is Mr. Marc Lalonde. How you doing, Mark?
Amazing. How you doing, Paul, Eric?
We're very good.
Awesome.
Over in Canada, yeah?
I am, brother.
Hey?
I am. Hey, yeah.
Hey?
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 It's nice today, actually. It's nice and sunny.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, listen, guys. We've got about an hour of Mark's time. We'll see where we go. I first became aware of Mark. God, it must be like 7-8 years ago. MLSP, My Lead System Pro.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, you were there, crouched behind your mic, doing the training on Twitter. And me and Eric, I think that was probably at the time we were doing like the 21-day Facebook challenge, and we had like this thing that we were helping people get marketing with the Facebook challenge. And then once we did the 21 days, we were like, okay, we know we can do it again, but what now? And we used some of your Twitter training, thank you. So we did a 21-day the Titanic Twitter challenge. So that's what we did, and that was based on your stuff. So,
awesome.
So there you go. So since then, I've kind of followed Mark, and watched what he does, and he had a fantastic platform that I dare say we'll talk about that isn't there anymore. So maybe we'll talk about that. It makes me sad. It makes me very sad. So what we do, guys, on these podcasts is it's all conversational. So Mark, talk.
Awesome.
Mark, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us your story and what you do and where you ended up?
Sounds good. My journey, guys, is a series of failures. Like for real, where with each failure, I stacked cash, basically, okay. Because I don't own any property, I don't own any vehicles, I got rid of everything, I rent where I am, and I stack that cash. So perhaps, hopefully, in my little spiel here, I can help some people avoid some pitfalls that are not so obvious. Because I did a circle, guys. Like you were saying, 2015 is when, 2016 I came out with Twitter Lead Machine, and that's when I found. You got it, Paul? Did you guys get it?
Oh, I think I've got most stuff that you did. Yeah.
I mean, I spoke to a couple of people on LinkedIn again, and they had bought it. People, because I'm prospecting and making connections, and they had gotten it. Everyone had gotten that thing. That's when I realized the power of online courses, for real. Like just an online course where you see, I'm going to super strategy here, but I don't have to. But when you know what the people want on a certain platform, and you find out what it is they want before you just say, like my TikTok course, for example. I didn't make a TikTok course to teach people how to make videos, because that's not what they wanted. I spent 6 months to find out what they want, and they wanted followers, even though it doesn't matter. Whatever they want, if I provide them what they're asking for, and I promote it on the platform that the course is about, there's like little tricks, because if I put a TikTok thing on a Facebook ad, it will not perform like on a TikTok ad.
Sure.
Things like that. Now,
so you do a lot of preparation then before you even get to the point again. So me and Eric, we work fast and we get stuff out, don't we? And we have our share of failures too. But we kind of tackle it that we know we're going to fail.
Hey, let me do this. Let me define failure real quick, because I think for people listening, they need to understand what's happening here. Obviously the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, and the bigger the failure, okay? So I think for a lot of people out here, you may define failure. There are a lot of people out here who will say, okay, I'm going to get into video marketing. They do 3 or 4 videos. They don't get any response from that. And they say, oh, I failed, right? Yeah. We're talking about actually putting time, energy, effort, putting an idea out there, promoting the idea, building a business, bringing people in. That's a huge, that's a huge risk and undertaking. So that failure is very different than somebody who is defining failure as, that's the difference between an entrepreneur and somebody who wants to try to become an entrepreneur. And I think, Mark, that's where I have a lot of, I have an understanding that I'm a little bit less to call that a failure and look back and go, wow, look what he was able to do with that particular, idea or business concept that he had. It's amazing how far he took that, right? And any successful entrepreneur, anyone that's created any kind of massive wealth, it's been a series of those failures along the way where you've learned some big nuggets from each one of those failures, I would imagine. And it just gets better and better and better. But anyway, I wanted to define that because your failures are pretty epic, but but they're epic in both ways. Yeah, they're epic as in amazing, and they're epic as in, oh man, I wish that could have continued to carry forward.
Yeah, it's funny because when you're providing value to the marketplace, I found that almost everything is on a trending curve. So if you hit it at the right time, you can cash in, yeah. You can help a lot of people along the way, but then it's a lot of algorithm changes. Like Twitter doesn't work anymore. But the year I launched it, how much did it make? $2.5 million, Paul, like just that first year. And it's not about bragging, it's just that's when I understood the power of a course that's results-based. So what do I mean by results-based? I think this is a good tip for any course creators out there because there's huge cash in course creation. I think the biggest tip I can give is if I'm not getting results with the thing I'm teaching, I can't teach it. I'm not credible for it.
Oh, man.
Like
preaching to the converted.
I mean, TikTok, when I found out, TikTok right now is up to, I think I'm 460 grand. It's on a funnel, so it's still bringing in sales every day. But the TikTok course, oh my God. I knew people wanted followers. I think followers are pretty useless, to be honest with you. However, it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what they want and what they're willing to pay for. It took me a full year to just crack the code on getting 1,000 legit followers per day, which is 10,000 followers in 10 days. So step by step that if you do what the course says, it's mind-blowing. You'll get your 10,000 followers. I'm not here to pitch it, but then once you break the 10,000 followers, then you go to the second tier in TikTok. When you put stuff out, your chances of getting scooped are astronomically better. But it took me a year of work before putting out the course. Does that make sense? Get results first?
I call it milestones, and I'm exactly the same. I have here a certificate to say I've got a funded trading account. I could not teach a certain thing until I got that myself to be able to teach other people how to do it. I can't.
100%.
Yeah. Now, there's something before we forget about it. You did 2.5 million on that Twitter course, and that was your breakthrough course, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's when I said, "What's going on? What's happening here?"
Well, we have some people, we like in a coaching group, and we were chatting to them last night. Mark, what was your background? Yeah, you must have been born with a huge email list, I take it, and you were born. You had implants put in to teach you how to do internet marketing. I'm guessing. People are like, oh, it's okay for him.
Yeah. I jumped right into the success, didn't I?
Yeah, I know.
I've always had money. I think maybe that's important. I made my first $4.1 million exit at 23 years old in 2000. So
Canadian dollars. That's not real money.
No, they were U.S. dollars.
Oh,
the 4.1 million. Yeah. Don't give $4.1 million to a crazy 23-year-old. It doesn't turn out well. But
hang on, I always say get a pen and paper to write down tips, guys. Write that down.
Well, it's interesting because you guys have been around. I know, Eric, you've been marketing forever. So in the 2000s, you remember dial-up. And if you built an e-commerce site, you had to build the darn thing. You had to go to the bank to get a merchant account, an international thing. Yet I had to program the credit card stuff, like the SSL, everything. And I think, no, I know I had an advantage because I was a computer programmer since I was 6 years old is the first code I was writing, just copying it from a compute book, the compute magazine back in the day, changing the color on Space Invaders and stuff. So it was a passion of mine since childhood. So that was a huge advantage for me. And then I got into IT. Oh God, what did I do? Over 20 years, 18 years, I think, before I fired my boss. So I had 18 years as a high-priced computer consultant, putting the fire suit on, getting thrown in big situations where I had to fix the problem. It was stressful. So that kind of gave me that background to where we're at, because it all mattered. It all mattered for me. And the fact that I had all these successes, the list of businesses is insane that I've created since I was in my 20s. Directories, all kinds of stuff, before everything was so easy to build. So it was like, what do they say? Red waters or something like
Blue ocean, red ocean.
Boom. That's exactly what I was looking for. I was always getting into blue oceans. And I still kind of, I like to think I have the knack for that still.
If you don't know what that is, guys, blue ocean is clear water and red ocean is full of blood with the sharks getting everybody, attacking everybody.
It's already too late.
So you're already in, like Mark said earlier, Mark's really good at getting ahead of the curve and putting the time in to determine the offer.
Yeah. Well, here's what really changed my life, because having money was one thing. I've always done well, like I said, even in my job, $250,000 a year as a computer consultant. But I wasn't happy at all. I just didn't like a boss. I think like most people can relate. So that changed for me in 2015. I found out in 2014 about MLM. That model, not as many people know about it as we think know about it. Like there's a lot of the stigma attached, but then there's a lot of people like myself that said, I'll get paid off that person, off that person, off that person. That blew my mind, that model. And I'm going to say the company name because this is the company that opened my eyes. It was Visalis. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Body by Vi?
Yeah.
Protein shakes? You were in it too?
Yeah, I was in it with Darren Little. He and I were in it together.
No way. Another legend.
Yeah, I used to work, me and Darren used to be partners for a while.
No way.
Yeah, go look at, if you look at MLM Superheroes, you'll see a bunch of stuff with him and I.
No,
Yeah,
Don't talk about
MLM.
Don't talk about your ex in front of me.
Ah, yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Darren was a trip, man.
Oh man, he's still doing very well, isn't he? I saw him in Cabo, I think.
Yeah, he always will do great. He's good at what he does. But go ahead, Mark.
Well, that was where it was extremely easy for me to get to 10,000 a month. Visalis was super easy. They had a challenge thing going on. I had no idea what I was doing. I was not doing online marketing. That was foreign to me. I hadn't heard of MLSP, nothing. So I would literally go out with samples, like Body by Vi samples in my satchel, go downtown and literally approach strangers in the vitamin aisles and on Bank Street, which is downtown, pitching. I would pitch 30 people per day. That was my work day. So when I got off work in computers, I would do that. And when I hit 10K a month, massive pay cut for me, okay, from computers. Because I'm going from 240,000 a year to 120,000 a year with no certainty. MLM was still foreign to me. I was just talking to people. And a lot of people ask me, that must have been hard to approach 30 people a day in person. Well, it's a lot easier now, but that being said, back then, my work was hard. Yeah. So I had to choose my hard. Either I'm going to hate my job and work my ass off to get through the day, or I'm going to talk to 30 people. They were both difficult because I hadn't gotten over the nose like this. Next. I love when Jim Rohn says, if you do something often enough, a ratio will appear. No truer words have been spoken. Because I would talk to 10 people, 1 would say yes, 9 would say no. So I was like, bring on the no's, because I need you to get my yeses. And there were times where I got like 3 or 4 yeses in a row. I'm like, shit, it's going to be a rough week. Because now I got it's law of averages, right? So from there, it was a struggle though. It was a struggle compared to what I found out in 2015. To make this short, you saw me in MLSP, Paul, you said, back in the day?
Yeah, that was the first time.
That was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, if I could, because everyone I would see on video, like we are right here, it was instant credibility. Like I was a little bit of starstruck, a little bit. Like if that person on the videos would contact me, I'm like, you're the person in the video? I felt that. And when I went in MLSP, I'm like, I felt it from those people. So I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. It wasn't, this isn't easy. We're doing it right now, but it's not, this stuff isn't easy, getting in front of a camera, right?
Do you still find it difficult getting in front of a camera?
Me?
Yeah. Are you okay now?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are scared to get on and do a video for marketing or whatever. What would you say to them about video?
You got to go through the suck before it gets easy. There's not a technique. There's not a course. The course is this: do 100 videos and suck at them.
Yeah, be prepared to suck. Yeah.
If you look at my timeline, because on my blog, it starts at video number 1 in 2015. And it's all sequential. I think I'm up to video number 620 something. But they're sequential, they're all dated. And as you see them, as you see me evolve, I'm a lot crazier now, but I'm still comfortable. I'm talking about the comfort level.
Yeah. We'll send you it after if we can find it. But we have a so-called friend, Sarah, who went back on YouTube and found our earliest videos she could find of like me and Eric, and she put them on, including herself. And my name is what's my name?
Well, I will give a tip. I will give a tip about that, because it comes back to what I said about results-based confidence, I guess, because that is a thing. Results-based. If you get results, your confidence goes up. Because with my first ever video, which is how to get 100 leads per day, I spent 6 months in MLSP. I didn't get a sponsor. I had no friends. I still don't have friends, but I just kind of joined from the website because I heard Ray Higdon say in the video, success leaves clues, right?
Yeah. Sure.
He just said, I learned my marketing at MLSP. I researched it. I had trouble finding it because I put in MSRP and I had to rewind the YouTube video. I saw it was a university. I said, I don't know what it is, but he went there and I want what he has. I'm just going to sign up. And I spent 6 months, guys, figuring out how to get leads on Twitter. 100 leads a day without fail. If you did the course back then, it was incredibly easy to get 100 leads per day.
It was good. I can testify to how good it was.
And I used to always say, if you get 25 fresh targeted leads per day, you are rich. Follow up, make those calls. It's enough. So when I got the 100 leads per day, that's when I made my first video. That was
cool.
So I learned.
I remember, to show my age, I remember being on a phone call when they were masterminding about building and pushing MLSP out to the field.
Yeah.
Before it was ever launched.
No way.
And I was on that call. I worked with this kid, Dennis Carganilla. He did I don't know, it was like 2008. He was teaching people basically how to do YouTube videos to grow their network marketing business.
Wow.
And it was a $2,000 course, and he was paying $1,500 on that. And that was how I got started in the industry. I hooked up with that, and I had been making hardly I mean, I was in sales. I made okay money, but all I did was here's what I did. I would get on YouTube, and because I'm not probably like the two of you guys. I never go through all the instructions. I'm horrible, and I didn't have anything set up correctly. I was putting videos up. My titles were all screwed up. They weren't getting ranked, and all that teaching was in there. I didn't even look at it. So I just decided to go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go So I did go through the training, and I figured out, oh, okay, this is pretty simple. So now I started getting my videos ranked. So I said, okay, I'm gonna search a keyword on YouTube. I'm gonna go to page like 20, and I'm gonna start reaching out to all these people who are putting videos but they can't get ranked. And then I'm gonna say, hey, I got a call I can put you on to learn how to get those videos ranked at the top. And I would connect with these people, and they would jump. I would three-way call them in. They did a 2-hour call. I'd hang up the phone. I didn't even listen. I just put the phone down while they were listening. I just three-wayed them in. And then the next thing you know, $1,500 showed up on my PayPal account.
Perfect.
So that you're dead on. Like that's what that's what you're saying. Those people, their thing was, I'm doing these videos. I'm getting no traction, no visibility. How can I just get my videos ranked so I can get more? And they were willing to pay anything to do that. How can I get? And so anyway, when you're bringing up MLSP, that tracked back to me, because I remember being on that call. Brian Finale and those guys were on there because they were trying to get Dennis to go in with them, but he decided not to. He went a different direction. But I don't even know how I ended up on that call. But anyway, I hate to jump in on you there, but it's crazy, man. It's just crazy, because you're right, man. All these people are, you can give them exactly what they're looking for, there's no price that they won't pay to get there.
Well, this is nostalgic because I remember back then I was doing marketing. It was so simple. I would put a Visalis ad, basically, rip a video off, like a presentation video, and advertise it to like Jenny Craig. That's it. That's how simple my targeting was. Then once I did the combination of Jenny Craig and entrepreneur and small business owner, it drilled down. So very simple, but it's not until I used this magnificent thing. Once I used my face and did the videos, it was day and night, bro. Like when I would do a call and they knew I was the guy in the video. So it's like personal branding and marketing. Well, that's when I became member of the month in MLSP. I just absolutely killed it. At that point, I hadn't made $1 million online yet. It's when I decided to launch Twitter Lead Machine. Oh my God, bro. I had nothing. Like I had a teachable site at the beginning. And I don't know if you remember, Paul, I had a bunch of affiliates and they were they were selling the course, no Branding University, nothing. And all I was doing all day long was paying commissions because I was doing it manually. And I'm like, this is fantastic. Like I'm paying people all day, and it was worth it. Like I said, a couple of million in the journey the first year. And then algorithm changes, Twitter tightened up, can't use software, no more status brew, like a bunch of stuff. You can only put Band-Aids on it for so long, right?
Yeah, sure. Sucks. The internet world moves so fast. That's part of the problem, isn't it? You gotta learn the skill. So me and Eric, we are confident, aren't we? All of us, that if anything happened, we are confident we can go and build a business in anything.
For sure.
And that's what I wish for anybody watching this. So keep listening to Mark and you'll know.
Well, the beautiful thing about us is if we're ever stuck, well, we're not going to be ever stuck. I don't know. I'll talk about how I retired in March, like legit with cash there in a sec. But if we ever wanted to do a services business, like I don't want to coach, but if I wanted to trade my time for money, like for example, this right here, this is time, but I'm working with you guys because this will get syndicated. It's gonna go out. It's gonna go to my email list. And if I want to sell a damn Tony Robbins book for a 20% affiliate commission, I can have a $30,000 a day because it's my list, right? The list is everything. Oh my God, it's so everything. I use social media to trickle in. Well, right now, 60 people a day are added to my list because when I put something on Facebook, not to get off course here, but it's one of my courses, Octo Content Model. But when I put something on Facebook, for example, it is everywhere, the same exact post. So every time you see stuff on my Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on YouTube, because you put posts now on YouTube. So with that being said, the list is everything. I think I should just wrap up my story, then let you guys drill me if you want, because I really hit it big.
It's all, Mark, it's conversational. This is all good stuff, honestly. So, we'll go where it takes us. But yeah, finish your story.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you the ultimate recipe to making sales is a paid ad to an automated webinar that looks real. I'm going to give that to you right now, so at least you walk away with something. Paid ad that goes to an automated webinar that literally looks real. I fabricate the chat in the beginning, yes. Takes me a month so I'm talking to the people in the chat. The thing looks live. And when people are buying, more people buy, and then as legit comments come in, because the software I use does that. As people
What
are
software? People are going to ask, what software is it you use?
Whatever webinar.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's cool.
So when these comments come in, no one sees them except the person typing it in, and it looks like they're involved in what's going on. Then at the end of the day, I see all the new comments that came in, and if they go scammer, whatever, they think they're displaying it to everybody, but I have to approve it for the next run of the automated webinar. So within a month or two, all my fabricated hellos and everything have now become real. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So, 2017.
Yeah, guys,
that is a massive tip everybody just got. I mean, I hope you guys write that down right now. Just stop, write it down, write it 10 times. That was a massive tip.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
And just to put a little sugar on top of the cake, look up Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey. Joseph Campbell, Hero's Journey. It's a cycle of think of Star Wars. You go to the dark side, you learn everything, trials, tribulations, then you come back a better person. If you use that model in your webinar, it's a psychological cheat code. Just make note of that. You're going to want to check that out on your own for sure. Okay, 2017 to 2019, I went absolutely ballistic because I just came off a couple of $1 million off a digital course. So I broke up with my girlfriend. I said, nobody bother me. I'm putting in 16 hours a day. I did that for 2 years. That's when I opened Branding YOUniversity. I joined like 5 MLMs through the course of that period of time. I burnt out big time. I mean,
I was on some of your webinars, and your work ethic was like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. I'd sleep every second night, like for 4 hours, because I was able to. I thought I had trained myself to go 2 days and sleep 4 hours, 2 days sleep, but it just took a toll, and I literally passed out in my condo. I thought I was having a heart attack. So, in that period of time, I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money in that period of time, but a lot of failures. When I say failures, my skills today would not be here if it weren't for those failures. And some of the failures are so intricate and they're hidden in the like little nooks and crannies that only you will know them. Like Eric might be doing something and he'll be like, oh, that won't work. I know that because I've failed at that. And there's so many little ones along the way that when you see somebody doing something, you're like, oh my God, poor you. You don't know what you got coming. So that's why I agree with you. They're not failures. They're lessons along the way.
Can you elaborate on something? Because this is where I think this is the sticking point I think that every individual has when they're trying to jump into this world. Is we're trying. A lot of people. I was never like this, thank God, because I would have never ever survived. But a lot of people are trying to get the exact formula right. And that exact formula for you or Mark or Paul is different. And the only way to extract that formula is through putting, like you said, how do you get good at video marketing? You put 100 videos out there and 100 of them suck. But in that 100 suck, the things that you have figured out about yourself, your audience, everything, you cannot, there's no price tag that you can put on that knowledge. And nobody but you can receive that knowledge through your effort and work, the work that you put in for yourself. Paul can tell me how to video market all day long. You could tell me how to go out and do videos all day long. Okay, you could give me a structure, a formula, tell me everything. And that will help. But until I actually put in the 10,000 hours, I'm never, like they say, right? Jordan, anybody, I don't know who said it, but you have to put in that 10,000 hours to be an expert in anything. And until you do that, you're never going to figure out those things, because it's more than just a strategy. There's things in your mind, man, that like shit that holds you back, that tweaks you, that's different than anybody else. Yeah. And you know yourself better than anybody else, but you can't figure those things out unless you put that in. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Mark, because so many people just get stuck because they want to come to the dance already made up and the homecoming king. Well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
I say it's like riding a bicycle. If you've never ever ridden a bicycle in your life, and I take you away and we go to a hotel or something, and I put on a course for you, and we take a bike to pieces and rebuild it, and we have a guy over here called Bradley Wiggins who's won like medals for bike riding and stuff, Tour de France and all that, and I get him to talk to you, and I explain the physics of how a bike works, but I don't let you ride a bike for the whole week. Yeah. And you've never ridden one in your life, and I say at the end of the week, well, you know everything there is to know about riding a bike, and I give you a bike and I say, off you go. You're going to fall off, aren't you? Because you haven't developed a sense of balance. Yeah. And it's the same with this. So I'm an NLP guy, and we have a saying that there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. The WD-40. Do you have WD-40 in Canada? Of course. You know why it's called that? I take it. It's the 40th attempt. They failed 39 times. No way. And that's why it's called water displacement 40. It's the 40th formula. No way. They failed 39 times, and that's why it's called WD-40. The 40th one happens to be the one that worked. That's so cool. There's a blog post right there. Thanks for the content idea. That's superb. Well, they could have given up at 20, couldn't they? And that's what people do. Yeah, man. It's never going to work. Yeah, and just for a note, because the 10,000 hour rule, I guess, is so important. Do you mind if I say the author in the book? It's Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers. Oh, yeah, of course. One of the best Malcolm books. Gladwell, if you're watching this, you now need to pay us a commission. Yes. Mind you, Malcolm, I preferred The Tipping Point. That's an even better book of his. But yeah, everyone should read both those books, because that's where you say, a lot of people want $1 million overnight without going through the suck, without that chasm. Perfectly said. I 100% agree with you both on all those points. You got to do, not just fall into I like to fail fast. That's the difference, I think. That's what I saw in a lot of successful people, right? They fail fast. Yeah, man. Get it all out of the way. Yeah. Get to the good stuff. Like Brandon. So anyway, back to your story, sir. 2016, 2019, you're working your ass off doing 16-hour days, hardly ever sleeping. Did you get to the point where you started hallucinating? Well, I'd accumulated a lot of cash, so I was like, I was on autopilot, kind of. I had little tricks when I would wake up from 4 hours sleep where I was not awake, but I would just get my leg off the couch. I'd sleep on the couch most of the time and just start moving. So the money intoxicated me. However, I was always starting over. My mind wasn't clear when I had 250 freaking affiliates per day in Branding University. Per day. Free affiliates. I don't have time to think or create or automate. So that was a screw up there, and also my numbers were off. I don't want to talk too much about the failures. We could talk about that offline, us three. But when you start giving the other podcast, it was growing too fast. And first of all, I don't have 8 arms or 2 heads. I didn't have anyone helping. That kind of stuff was an issue. And also giving too much off the top. 75% of every dollar that came in went out perpetually. So if someone brings someone in one time, for the rest of history, I have to pay them 75% of every dollar that comes in. 75. And the affiliate management was so sucking up my time. The servers, there's so many things that amateur moves. I didn't realize I was creating a huge business. The thing just took off. It just went. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus. Well, it took off because it was freaking awesome. It was really good. Thank you. Okay. November 2020. My life changed financially. Completely changed financially. Don't do this, everyone. This is not a lesson. They say people create their own luck, right? That's a
That's a fact, actually. The more you do, you're bound to get luckier more often with more experience, more connections. But this time, this was a luck. I got coaxed by someone to buy 2,000 Ethereum November 1st, 2020. It was like under 800 grand, and I had accumulated quite a few seven figures at that point. And the person was so credible, and he kept poking me into it. I knew nothing about crypto. I didn't care about trading. I didn't care about any of that. But he was so credible that I bought 2,000 Ethereum in November 2020. I sold them February 14th, 2021. And that's when I was able to retire forever. February 14th, Valentine's Day. 2021 is literally when I sold my 2,000 ETH. It was crazy. It was like, well, it was a clean $3 million in 4 months. Because I bought it at $395, and I sold it at $1,800, which was a huge mistake, because it did not stop going up. I remember my buddy was mad. He's like, "Don't you dare sell." I'm like, "This is crazy. I'm taking the money and I'm running." But then I got hooked, which is why I still do cryptos today. And to wrap it all up, I guess I have a school right now that's. I'm not here promoting it. I'm just saying. Without the affiliate,
you can tell us where to find it. Tell us what it is and where to find it.
It's called socialmediaisthenewhollywood.com. But the reason that sucker generates over 7 figures per year today, well, first of all, it's got paid ads. If it's going for the TikTok course to an automated webinar, I'm telling you guys, if you guys go to any of my automated webinars, you will think I am there. The way I'm communicating with the people in the chat. And so that school, just because it does not have a free affiliate program. Affiliate, that would work if I adjusted the numbers. I'm still dissecting it. We're going to talk about this later offline, us three. But without the affiliate program, just selling high quality courses, paid ads, automated webinars, of course. And then I have special offers. You have to anchor the price and discount and all that stuff. But with that site, unbelievable. So it's not that the university or the courses were not wanted by the marketplace. People had money. People have tons of money to spend on shortcuts, provided by someone who can prove the results in that specific topic. They'll just take out their credit card. Understandably so. So with social media is the new Hollywood, that sucker is beautiful. It's a great example on what you can do for. I'll close this off by telling you the easiest way to get rich, by the way, because I do know the easiest way to get rich. But if you're a course creator, the only issue there is you have to get the results prove them before you release the course. So that's where I stand. Social media is the new Hollywood, is online, super high priced courses. Just warning you, they range from 500, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000 for one of the big suckers. But that's what's running right now. And I circled back into MLM. Go figure, after 7 years. Because it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. People who think network marketing is hard, you're wrong. You're not doing the actions I teach you. If you just, or anyone, Ray Higdon. I love Ray Higdon, but I like to have an 8x10 sheet of paper that says there's 7 check boxes. Check them every day. Just do them. It's copy paste, yo. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Are you willing to share what that is?
No, it's only for my team, brother. I'll leave my link in the description.
Yeah.
No.
Mark's links, guys, will be either in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll make sure there's a link to all of Mark's stuff. So
no, I'll tell you.
We'll look after you, Mark. Don't worry. Even though there's no affiliate program, we'll still look after you.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's contacting 30 people a day with. This will depend on your company. You want to take the benefits of the product, you want to take the benefits of the opportunity, and you want to alternate them in your follow-ups. A lot of people don't know this. 4 exposures if you follow, it's not hard, it's uncomfortable, but it's a gold mine, because exposure number one, unless they say F off or they ghost you, then they're off that pipeline. They're out of that pipeline.
That's just the English people, I'm guessing.
Well, if you go to number 5, guys, this is a fact. Google it. Exposure number 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 10% chance they join your opportunity. Exposure number 5, 80%, yo.
Yeah.
Just for that 5th one. So I mean, if you're getting a bunch of no's and you've sent people, you got your follow-ups ready in advance. 7 of them is perfect, and every 3 days, just keep sending them. And if they see your message or say interesting, I'll take a look. Just keep sending them off, because to do 30 per day, I like to do it in a half hour. I do. It's copy paste, Control C, Control V.
And this is all in Facebook Messenger, or
No, the way I do it is I like to do 10 in Facebook, I like to do 10 in Instagram, 10 on Twitter, or 20, 20, 20. But this is where the problem lies, where, not to get too advanced, but you're going to run out of friends or connections at a certain point in time, so you have to recycle them. So in other words, my life is a business, so if people say, what about your friends and family? I'm like, they're not on my Facebook. Are you kidding me? If I want to talk to mom, I'll call her. Like, it's so separated from me, so that if no one's interested in what I'm doing, I can only have 5,000 friends, but I can have 5,000 friends over and over and over and over again. So that's where I send a friend request.
You know, coming from my sales background, you know, I always did commission-based sales from the time I was young, because and MLM's where I got my introduction, failed in that for a long time. But I'd always did commission sales, and the only reason I did that was because I said, look, I don't want you to pay me anything, because I want you to leave me alone. I always wanted my freedom, even though I work for someone. Just leave me alone, let me go do my thing. So, but the exposure thing, just people, I try to drill this through people's head. They don't understand, because like you said, it can feel uncomfortable. But if you switch the way you look at that and you say, hey, my percentage of getting this sale, or my percentage of bringing this people in the business going up with each exposure, if that's the way you think, then it's a game changer. Now with me, I'm a connector, and people often will say, you put way too much content out there. But here's what they don't realize what I'm doing. Give you guys my marketing strategy here. Yeah. As a connector, I'm always reaching out to top affiliates. I'm reaching out to top network marketers. I'm reaching out. I like to go after that top level, and I have tons of contacts, right? So the fact of the matter is, they when I reach out to them, they have seen my content, because it's like Grant Cardone. I remember him speaking one time, and he says, I'll put out 20, 30 pieces of content a day. I don't care, because I want them to see me, because he made it really clear. The only reason someone is famous, if I go look at Julia Roberts and I go, wow, she's just a woman, man. She's just another woman out of all the women. The only reason she is famous to me is because I've seen her thousands and thousands of times, right? Because I've been exposed to her. So suddenly, yes, she's in the movie, she's an actor and all that, but she's just a woman, but she's famous to me, right? 100%. So that's my mindset. It's just like with you. I know you syndicate, you put yourself out there, you're a huge influencer, and people don't get this about you. It's like, that I didn't even at first. I'm like, your audience, they think, oh, he's MLM, he's this, you know, they're kind of condensing you to this one audience, but your audience is a lot bigger than that. You've got a lot. There's no way you don't have a bigger audience with the things you've done. You have you have all these other audiences that we are not even aware of that know who you are.
Oh my God, bro. You have, if anyone's just bored one day, go to social medias in New Hollywood, go look at Octo Content Model, look at Oliver the Octopus. I made a little cartoon animation. Oliver the Octopus shows you exactly what I do. I extract, like I said, maybe 30 leads a day across all platforms, maybe 50 on a good day, automatically just by putting out the content. I've always got my links there, my little newsletter links, and sometimes the best way to do it is to not put your link for 7 posts, get a strategy here, and then put your link for the newsletter or the blog where they sign up for the newsletter, you pixel them. Because once they go on my AWeber email list, they don't even follow me on social media pretty much anymore. I own them because they fall into, what's the sequence now? I think there's 40 something automated autoresponders every 2 days. Anyone who joins my list, once they fall into that sucker, and they're so strategically placed where I sell something like every 5 emails. So I like the fact that I'm extracting from social media instead of putting out on social media, if that makes any sense. I'm sucking from social media and bringing them on my list, where then I have complete control through autoresponders. It's like TikTok, yo. I don't know if I should do this. If you offer to give away an Amazon gift card on TikTok, and you say click the link in my description, and it goes to an autoresponder with all your sequencing, like all of your follow-up emails, that's so crazy. Because you'll get, if you do duets with food or squishy things, I don't want to get too much into it, because it sounds, sometimes you feel like, well, I always feel like an idiot because I'm doing really crazy stuff where people go, what? What did he just do to get that attention? But yeah, TikTok is a great way to generate those leads as well. They're all great ways. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
So say that again, Mark. Sorry, I missed it.
No, I said that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Any questions?
Yeah.
So Mark, tell me. Okay, so I mean, obviously you are a master with all the automation stuff. Obviously, you've mastered it all, right? Presenting the whole deal across the board, right? Even offline, online, done it all, right? But I know you're constantly looking at the marketplace. How do you spend time just, I mean, do you go devour other courses? Do you watch other marketers? How are you getting the intel that you're getting, like on a platform? Let's say TikTok, you just knocked that out of the park. How did you what's your mode of operation? What do you typically do? How do you go about that?
For me, I spend a lot of time using it. Posting, using it, observing, replying to comments, asking people. You know, actually not asking, just having conversations, and you come up with your own, you understand really fast what people are looking for. And then that's when hashtags come in, like I always use the entrepreneur hashtag. So it's like odds are that people are going to be somewhat entrepreneurs. There's something though that about network marketing, if you're not making, this is going to be bold. Here we go. Maybe it's where you start to, the haters will start coming out. If you're not making 100K per year, your mental faculties are kind of not, they're not free. It's almost like if you got to worry about bills, you got to worry about your job. If that's always occupying your mind, it's hard to go for the big money, coaching, online courses, online schools. The easiest way for me to get to 100K, or for anyone, is network marketing. Now, by the way, this is my last day where I'll be 49. I turn 50 tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow. It all goes downhill from there.
All downhill, which is why I'm now interested in two things, really. One thing. Big money opportunities. It's not because I'm greedy. It's because I understand so many more things than I did when I started, that I can sniff it, such as you guys, I'm sure. You can kind of tell that caps out at about 7 figures, that one. But that one, I can see bust into that 8-figure mark. Just scalability, the way it just look like a pyramid. So when I retired, when I officially pulled back on February 14, 2021, I had made enough money since 2014. That's a lot of 7 figures stacked, considering all the courses I did, all the MLMs that are pretty well ranked to the top of every one of them. Branding YOUniversity, everything that got sucked out throughout those years with my frugalness. If I split up that money, no investments. I'm talking about no investments, no duplication, no residual, just the cash, the brick of cash that I had accumulated. If I split that up in 50 years, I'm 50, if I live to 100, how much could I just take out per month? And I can't even spend that amount if I tried. Just no investments. So that's when I said, okay, well, I'm done. Like I don't have to work anymore. Like whatever I do moving forward, I better or it better have a huge upside. I'm talking 8 figures a year now. And also it sucks not working, and there's a lot of things. And it's almost like you get to a certain level in skill and you're like, now I'm not going to use my talents to sniff out the big money. All those years were wasted. Like you become powerful in the way your mind works and the way you could break things down. So that's why I'm back into MLM. I am.
Which company do you can plug it if you want?
Yeah, I mean, I like to say I'm in the stem cell business. It's a lot of things. See, I don't want to go too much into detail, but product is important, of course. Comp plan is important, of course. But what's the marketability on the trends happening for that product? If you can't market the thing, if it's not easy to market, look at baby boomers. Everybody's getting old, they're getting joints and pains. The timing, if everything aligns perfectly, for sure. There's two things that are good about MLM. Number one, it's easy. I'm 50 years old, yo. I like my days now. I do.
Cool.
I'm good with money. So I enjoy doing content. I enjoy that stuff, and it does increase my brand. And if I have a message I want to say, it's nice to send it out secretly to my email list. But also, stem cells have really fixed me up pretty good. I damaged myself pretty bad. So because of stem cells, really, stem cell activation, I got thrown into it. A lot of people need it. Great time, right place. For me, I can bring this to $1 million a month. I kind of timelined it. So $1 million a month to me, but what's more important is that I can sniff out, Ray Higdon said this the other day, I can sniff out who my leaders are going to be early on. What did Ray said? He goes something like, if you sweat, then you get my attention. Give me a little bit of sweat, then you get. So that's a great way. It's very hard to find people to do the very minimum things. People are way too comfortable in this world.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So that's why.
Mark, what is something that you do, personal time, that you enjoy that can shut your mind off from all of this, and you can just really focus in and enjoy those moments?
This may be a little. I'm single. I enjoy my female companionship, and are you guys married?
No.
Yes.
Paul is. I'm divorced, so yeah, I'm in your world.
I'm married to Julia Roberts, and she's just very upset about what Eric said.
What happens is, I've been doing the love affair thing for a while, because I've been single for almost a decade, and once you have a good time with someone, and you feel like going on a trip, and you don't have to call into anything, it's nice to do, and just kind of I enjoy that. I enjoy a lot of other little. This is going to be the weirdest part of this podcast, probably. I haven't been diagnosed, but if there were a diagnosis for this condition, I actually believe I am a workaholic. I think I wake up, and when I do the work, it's not necessarily what you guys see. I'm searching for the big stuff. I have the capital. I have somewhat knowledge. I'm targeting ads specifically, it's okay, I'll say it. I'm targeting ads specifically to huge decision makers, kind of that make big decisions here, big VCs, to maybe fund my idea. And I'm targeting these ads to their likes, but since it's just falling down their timeline, I just show up a lot in their world. So I'm always working on something, and you guys, you don't see it. I'm working on something big. I'm sick of being a multi-millionaire. I want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do, Eric. I mean, between female companionship, time with my family, which is pretty slim. There's 2 people in my family, my brother and my mother, and work.
How's your mum, by the way? Is she all right now?
She's good, buddy. She's going through surgery on, when is it, on this Monday? Yeah, so I'll be staying with her. I won't be posting on social media. So, yeah, she's
good. I'm pleased to hear that.
Thanks for asking, bro. Yeah, she's doing good.
I remember getting the updates back then, you know, so yeah, that's good. That's great news.
Thank you, man. And
right, we're coming up on the hour, so what else do I need to ask you? One, have you read all the books behind you?
What's that? Have I read them all? No.
Yeah.
No.
I
I started going through the basketball one there. I don't know if you see it. Like some of the things I'm like, I just don't understand the sport that much. And plus I'm not gonna play in the NBA, so I'm like, okay, I don't think I need to know that, even though it's interesting. There's a lot of.
So, do you do like any self-development or anything like that as part of your routine?
Yeah.
Or have you done it all? Have you done enough?
Yeah. There's I'm not much of a I'm not much of a novel guy. Like it's nonfiction stuff. I mean, there's a couple of novels back there. The King's Speech, a couple of movie books that I find interesting, but no, it's all pretty well. Almost I got over 2,000 books now, and out of all those books, I would say 80% of them are based on someone's life knowledge in a book. That's a cheat code for everybody right there.
Yeah.
Try to read a book a week. Pop in the audio. It takes no time at all. Right now I'm doing Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. What on?
Oh, it's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I've listened to it like 5 times.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Do you meditate? Do you do anything like that?
Yeah. I do.
You do?
Yeah, I did it this
do?
morning. I do it in the morning, yeah. For me, I do it throughout the day. Oh, I oxygenate my cells first by some breathing exercises, very specific. And then once I oxygenate my cells, give myself a whole cleaning. Takes me about 10 minutes. I may share those steps in the blog post. Never thought of doing that. What I do is I do transcendental meditation immediately after the breath work. And the way I do that is, here we go. I think of nothing for as long as I can. I try to
Meditation is not what you think.
Yeah, it's like the more my brain is like, because it's a muscle, so it's always like in some form of flex. Okay, it's always it's working always. The synapses are firing off. The thing's always kind of tight. But once it kind of loosens, it's almost like, picture your bone box, your skull. It kind of goes like, it sits in it a little bit. And once it does that, then, here we go, freaky time. Then it feels like the top of your head's open. And you feel like there's a beam going out there. And you start asking for what you want. So that's my form of meditation. It's common, but I don't think anyone describes it the way I do. Because it's just recently I've been getting exactly what I want. And I'm like, I understand it's not God. I won't get into that. I understand it's not like as much the law of attraction as it is the reticular activating system. Your brain filters everything out, and all you see is, like I saw 2 red Ferraris last week. Because I was thinking again, actually I'm thinking of a Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti?
Yeah, well, what does that Kate say? It doesn't matter. Yeah, what color is your Bugatti, right?
Yeah.
He's a trip.
He is a trip.
Now you're in the gym too. You lift. Does that help? Does that help your mental clarity and all that? Getting in the gym
100%.
and that.
100%. As a matter of fact, in my room, beside my bed, I moved my recumbent bike beside my bed. So when I wake up, on the right side is my gym clothes hanging. On the left side is my gym clothes hanging. On the right side is my bike, recumbent bike. It's like I could see. It's a beautiful view. I open up the window for fresh air. And as soon as I wake up, before I even open my eyes, literally, I think that's the secret to booting up this system. Before I touch any weights, I got a gym right there. Before I touch any weights, I will bike slowly and I'm patient with the amount of time it takes for my brain to wake up. I used to say, why am I so tired? Why is it taking so long? What's wrong with me? But now I'm like, dude, let the meat suit wake up. Let this animal wake up. It just came out from hibernation. Once I do that, just a soft sweat. I just do 200 calories, very low intensity. Takes me 40 minutes, and then I jump in the shower, and off we go. If I don't do that,
Whole day's off.
lethargy. I get lethargic the whole day.
Lethargy.
Yeah.
So you say lethargy.
Last thing. Do you find yourself more comfortable being in your own environment, being with yourself? I know you kind of go off with that, or in crowds of people, because obviously I know that you're looking to be a big influencer, and you already are a big influencer, but you get to be that online. That doesn't necessarily mean, hey, Mark's coming and 100,000 people show up and you've got to shake hands and move through the crowd. I'm sure you do both, but you like being in your own little universe, right?
I have never been at an event in my life unless I was speaking, and the times I spoke, I'm not even lying. I showed up right in time, got up on stage before people could approach me. Like the last one, that's what I did. I did my spiel, answered some questions. Then right after it was done, I go, oh, people start approaching you, eh? It's crazy. It's like rock star stuff. And they start coming up to me. I have a question. Maybe I'll answer the ones for the cute girls and record them. I got some of that content. But then I go to the bathroom and I beeline for the elevator, bro. I'm out of there.
Elvis has left the building.
That's a great question, because I'm very, would it be introvert? I like my solitude. And since I'm always right, people's opinions and recommendations have zero effect on what the right thing is.
I love it. Exactly.
I'm not saying.
Dude, there has been so many golden nuggets. If I'm anybody right now that has listened to this, you've missed tons and tons of nuggets throughout this podcast. This is something I'd have on repeat, and I would listen to and listen to and listen to, because, and I know Paul's great. I don't write things down. I have to re-listen to things over and over and over. Paul's already written down probably like 4 or 5 things we're going to extract from your brain and start using for our stuff.
Whoop, where you go?
Yeah, we're gonna that beam of light, man, is going. So
we'll probably get our hands on at least one of those courses as well.
Yeah, hey,
yeah, 100%. So
if you guys want some of those courses, I'll hook you up. Don't buy them.
Oh,
it'll be my gift to you.
Hook us up, and what we'll do is we'll review them and we'll push them out, and Mark, guys, honestly, I'm not just saying it. You know, I learned so much from Mark, and some of that, you know, I haven't had every course from Mark, because you take action and you get on and you just freaking do it, and that's how you be successful. From my point of view, you just, like Mark says, network marketing is easy. If you ask 100 network marketers, 99 of them are going to say it's not easy, right? But if you just take the actions, it is, isn't it? It's just freaking doing it. So I would love to get my hands on those courses, and you guys should as well. So I think just for me, the last question from me, and we'll close it out, is: can anybody do it, Mark? What you've achieved, can anybody do it?
Yes.
Do you believe anybody can do it?
Not what I've achieved, because I'm very, very rich, but make $100,000 a year.
And modest.
The things I have achieved, maybe this is a good tip. If you take inventory of your existing knowledge and what you like to do, Once you make that combination, me, it's computer programming. Computer programming, software development is a hell of a skill to have in today's day and age. It comes in handy. And the fact that I love it, well, some of the stuff I build right now, like Branding YOUniversity, the back office, that's all programmed. If I want to do something, I sit down, I program it. I've been programming it all my life. So that's why I say to be as successful as me. It doesn't mean you can't be. I'm just saying if you take my exact path and you've never programmed in your life. Make sense a little bit?
Yeah. But if I wanted to learn to program, I could buy a course and I can.
Yeah, and then there's personality too. There's personality. A lot of people downplay the smile. There's a hack. Hi. It's like if someone looks like they're sucking on a lemon for real, it's the knowledge may be there, but they're not someone you'd want to hang out with. That's very underlooked. That's a hack. Some people say, that seems like a cool person. I can relate. Because you're going at scale. But Paul, to make $120,000 a year within a 14-month period, anybody could do it. Anybody. Because you get an 8x10 sheet of paper, contact 30 people, 10 on Facebook, 10 on LinkedIn. Here are your 7 follow-ups. There's your Excel spreadsheet. There are your links. There's your team capture page. If you fill out those check boxes, that's easy. It's easy. How many people go to law school for how long to make $100,000 a year?
I know.
Like,
Makes me laugh.
so that's the hack. And then once you get that $100K, and you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to have a job, that's when you figure out what you're naturally good at. Some people it's writing. What you're naturally good at and what you enjoy doing. Once you merge those, you can only figure that out when you taste a lot of shit, as Gary Vee would say.
Yeah.
I did NFT for a while. Super lucrative. But you got to try a lot of stuff, and to try a lot of stuff, you need to have your brain free. So the easiest way to do that is make your $100K in network marketing. Do a 1-team meeting a week. It'll just grow, and you'll be able to reach higher. Make sense?
Perfect sense. For me, that's a good place to end it. Do you want anything to say, Eric? Or?
No, this has been amazing. I just really hope people go back and you listen and you listen and you listen and you listen. This is the type of stuff you should be listening to on a regular basis. Okay, I'm an audio person. If you ask me if you put a book in front of me, I'm not going to read a page. It's who I am. It's what I am. But I'm constantly in I don't want to call it the matrix because that's a bad thing. We're in the matrix. We're trying to get out of the matrix. But for me, I like going into the marketing matrix. I like going in and I like consuming as much as I'm putting out there. I like to consume. I'm a connector. I like, people intrigue me. I can spot people early on. That's one thing in this business I'm in. I can look at someone early on and go, yeah, they're going to be successful. And I start building relationships with those people as well as the higher end people, because guess what? I don't have to know how to let's say I wanted to make a bunch of money with Mark, right? Mark is, has all these different skill sets, right? I don't need any of those skill sets that Mark has. I can leverage Mark and make $100,000 a year, right? I can leverage his training. I can leverage his automation. I can leverage even his speaking. I can leverage his webinars. I can go in and say, okay, and that's what he's saying with a list. He's saying, just go out, right, and bring people. I'll never forget years ago when I first got introduced to this industry, I met a young kid. I was 30-something, I'd been in sales. He was like 22, had made 7 figures. And I thought, this guy's a genius. When he said no, he goes, what I do, we travel around. They did the offline, the meetings. He's the big dog. Right? He's the guy that walks in, pulls up in his Mercedes, walks in, does the presentation. What I do is I come in town and I spend a week and I get 50 to 100 people here to this presentation. Wow. That's what I do. Yep. Okay? That's all I do. I bring people in the door and I put them in their seats. Yeah. And I'm a millionaire. I got really good at promoting. Yeah. He was a phenomenal promoter. He goes, and follow up. I got real good at getting someone excited, wetting the whistle, and I got good at following up, making sure that they came to the event, they showed up at the event, and I did it so well that now I'm traveling with this guy, and this is what we do. And they made millions. I'm sure he's on. I wish I knew him to this day. He's probably some huge thing online right now, because all those guys transitioned to the online. So I always tell people, become a great promoter. Like, become a great promoter and attach yourselves to people that have these types of skill sets, like Mark and these others. It's one of the reasons I work with Paul. I know what my deficiencies are. I don't want to call them deficiencies. I know what my weaknesses are, and I don't really care to be an expert in those things. So I would rather focus on what I love and what I enjoy doing, and I outsource those weaknesses.
It's sometimes not a deficiency. It's just sometimes it's things you don't want to do, and if you don't want to do them,
right.
I used to have a business, an SEO business, and I used to hate doing the freaking invoicing at the end of the month, and it used to take me literally like 2 days, right? So I used to go to these business networking groups. And there was this woman there, she goes, I'm a real virtual assistant. I'll come to your office and I'll actually do like admin and stuff for you. So I thought, oh, this is my way out of doing all that, all the invoicing. It took her 2 hours. And I'm like, what? no, you have. It took her 2 hours. It used to take me 2 days because I freaking hated doing it, and I would put it off. And that's where I don't want to write copy. Eric doesn't have to think about writing copy. It just flows out his brain like that beam you're talking about. So that's where we work well together. So you need to find somebody like that, guys. If you need to, go and find them. Sometimes you have to pay for them. Sometimes if you're lucky enough, you'll get some.
You guys are more credible for that type of advice, because just as a small note, I don't want to sound like I'm all, it's good to be closed off and not want to work with anyone. It's one of my faults. It's a fault. Like, it's one of my weaknesses. I've hired VAs, and I fired them pretty darn quick because it wasn't just. I like to do things myself. That's a weakness, by the way. So, you guys, that's the advice you want to listen to. Doing what I.
It's so funny. You remind me. I was just visiting Bob Beckett. He's made millions online. He started making. He's a computer programmer too, a lot like you. And he started, I think he made his first million in his, I think he made a couple 100,000 at like 16 years old, selling stuff on eBay and stuff like that. Okay. But I was just at his house, and it's so funny you guys are so aligned, because there's over all these years, there's about 2 or 3 people in his camp that he really will trust or will work with, because, and he just has, and he's known me and Paul forever. We've talked about doing some things together, and we're still not quite there yet. And he loves us. He says, you guys are the best. I love you guys. You guys are right there. And it's still, and I was talking to him, and it's still kind of, it's still tough for him, to make that transition. And
hey, Bob, listening, by the way, hello.
Yeah, we love you, Bob. I mean, I'll tell him that straight up. I mean, he was very candid about that stuff, but. Yeah. You two remind each other. I need to connect the two of you guys, because you guys are very, very similar.
They don't want to do it all themselves.
Well, that's all right. I can't help but connect people, man. I don't care. I hope they make billions of dollars. It's inbred in me, man. I connect everybody. So
it's like I know everybody in the industry because I know Eric. And I just
well, your personality. I didn't want to jump in, but like, your skills it's a good marriage. Because Paul, I think you have a crazy brain. I have that impression. You have like a crazy brain. I just watching you, looking at your eyes move, and seeing if you're reptilian or not, how elite you are. But for real, like, I think your brain is you're highly intellectual. And Eric, we're all intellectual, but I think Paul may be a level higher. And Eric, bro, I mean, shit, your contacts, and you are a personality too, and you're buff. When I say that, I mean, it's kind of important though, for our age, if we're dealing with, and I'm not going to go top G Andrew Tate here, but it's pretty impressive, someone who is over 50 and can stay healthy. So
absolutely,
it's a good marriage. I think you guys, we'll probably end up working together on something, right?
We hope so. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, well, look, we're just over the hour. So is there anything you want to close out on, Mark? I'm going to give you the last word. If there's anything you think you need to tell people, and if it's just goodbye, that's fine too. But I'm going to give you the last word and we'll close it out.
Yes, I'd like to share a quote. I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes by this man named Marc Lalonde.
Mark with the C, right?
Mark with the C, I know. It's dwelling on your past mistakes is sure to get you two things: nowhere and nothing. Let them fade away, because it's so easy to think back. I should have did this. I should have did that. It's a powerful quote that I use every day, because that's how people get stuck. I could have done this. I should have done that. Don't dwell on it. It's getting you nothing and nowhere. That's what I could close.
I've got to write that down as well now. Fucking hell, I'm running out of paper. All right,
Awesome.
Mark, we can't thank you enough. Seriously, dude.
Yeah.
So we're going to close the podcast out here.
Thanks, guys.
Eric.
Thanks, guys. It was
Bye,
amazing.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Recording stopped.
Recording stuff. Right, are you ready to go for a take?
Nice
You ready to
job.
go for a take now? Should we do it for real now?
What's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
I forgot
just
to
the
push
warm-up.
record.
yeah, totally forgot.